That diorama was pretty awesome, right? I'm actually giving it away this Sunday to one of our Dice Diorama members. Click the link in the description or pinned comment to find out how you can be in the runnings to take it home. G'day guys and gal. Every Space Marine Legion was unique in their own way, having their own strengths and weaknesses. The Night Lords, Raven Guard and Alpha Legion were all stealthy. The Imperial Fist and the Iron Warriors could hold the line. The World Eaters and Iron Hands could break it, and so on. However, these weren't exactly special powers, more so battle doctrine shaped by their culture, their Primarch, and to a smaller extent, their physiology. But this goes much deeper. Most Space Marine Legions have the potential for a small select group of their Astartes to have special powers. They were rare, but they did exist. If the right gene seed was put into the right aspirant, it could mutate and grant them abilities that made them leagues more powerful than their brothers. Not all Space Marine Legions have these special powers, but some of the greatest Space Marines to ever live were a result of these unique rare mutations, and I reckon that's worth chatting about. Today we'll go over each Legion's special power that at least one of their Legionnaires developed, at least for the Legions that actually had it. Let's get into it. Now to clarify, I'm not talking about each Legion's specialty. We all know the Night Lords are scary, not because it's their superpower, but because they're raging assholes. Likewise, we know the Imperial Fists are good at sieging, not because of some cosmic power has decreed it, it's just that they're staunch because their dad is staunch. A special Space Marine power is more supernatural and is completely unique to those Space Marines. Most Space Marines of that Legion won't even have the special power. In some cases, only one will. In other cases, it'll be like a passive ability that many of them have. Now that we have that clarified, the Dark Angels do have one special power, and no, it's not been a dope-ass night, although it should be. Some Dark Angels are specifically chosen and even followed around by Watchers in the Dark. These cosmic entity Xenos are so unknown and alien that even Chaos is scared of them. When the Changeling was rampaging through the rock and causing havoc, having a big laugh as he did so, when he eventually encountered a Watcher in the Dark, he was like, fuck that, and he ran the other way. The Dark Angels guided by the Watchers have destiny on their side, gain plot armor, insights, and occasionally even power. This is why the Deathwing Knights, the deadliest of the Dark Angels, are often chosen by the Watchers and interact with them. But yeah, having cosmic entities watching your back is a pretty dope power. As far as I know, the Emperor's children don't have any particularly unique special powers beyond the ability to suck their own cocks. Likewise, the Iron Warriors don't have anything super unique in their superpower department, which makes sense since they're treated as cogs in a machine. The White Scars are interesting. Their rank and file troopers love speed and poetry and throat singing and shit, however it's their librarians that are truly unique. Their librarians are not like normal Legion librarians, and not just because they're called Stormseers. They have a special unique relationship with the Warp, so much so that when the Edict of Nicaea was activated and almost all Psychers were banned, the Stormseers were like, well that obviously does not apply to us, and they just ignored it, similar to the Rune Priests. But they actually have a point. When Yasugai, greatest of the Stormseers, was awakening his power, he was visited by both the Emperor and the Chaos Gods. As a man of balance, he accepted a drink from the Chaos Gods, but only to sip it. This annoyed both the Emperor and the Chaos Gods. The Emperor as he wished Yasugai didn't touch the cup, the Chaos Gods because he didn't drink much of it. So yeah, the Stormseers are very unique, and I would class them as an entirely different type of Psyker. In a similar vein, the Wolves of Fenris also have a very unique type of librarian. Fenris is a very, very interesting world that has a deep connection to the Warp. As such, its librarians, its Rune Priests, are also unique. They seem to be entirely immune to corruption, with their method of using the Warp so raw and primal that even the Thousand Suns struggle against it. They practice restraint in a similar way to the Stormseers. I consider Rune Priests and Stormseers as uniquely powered. No other librarian from any other Legion would be able to become a Stormseer or Rune Priest. It's coded in their blood, their gene seed, and their very world. Every scene where a Rune Priest unleashes his powers is always a joy to read about. Ice Wolves materializing and ripping people apart is fun. Like their Iron Warrior counterparts, the Imperial Fists don't appear to have any special powers, although Fabius Bile did remark that out of all Space Marine test subjects, the Imperial Fists are the most difficult to control and corrupt. Even when turned into monsters, they still remain loyal and will attack Fabius and other traitors, so perhaps their willpower could be considered. The Night Lords do actually have a unique, very rare special power, but it seems that only one of their Marines actually ever developed it under extremely unique circumstances. That special power is extremely accurate foresight, on par with Conrad Kurz's own future telling. The Night Lord Talos developed this power, and he hated it as it would give him seizures that would last for hours or even days. When investigated by a talented apothecary, he discovered that Talos wasn't actually a good candidate to be a Space Marine. His body was not suited for the Ascension. This generally would have been fine, however his gene seed had continued to mature and mutate even after its implantation, granting him the power of extremely accurate foresight. Once again, this would be okay, however it put too much pressure on Talos's body, which as I said wasn't particularly suited to be a Space Marine to begin with. When Talos died and his gene seed was extracted, it was put into a significantly more suitable host called Decimus, who can use the Foresight whenever he wants for whatever reason he wants without any negative side effects or seizures, making him the most powerful Night Lord in the galaxy as well as their new de facto leader. However, his plotline abruptly ended years ago without any update, so hopefully we'll see him in action soon. As far as I know, no other Night Lord developed such gifts other than maybe Sevatar. However, Sev actively suppressed his psychic powers, so who knows. The Blood Angels do actually have their share of powers, and most of them suck balls. First, there is the Red Thirst, that drives them into a temporary frenzy as they desire the blood of their enemies. During the Red Thirst, their combat prowess is empowered. The next stage of this, the Black Rage, is a permanent state of berserk insanity in which they try to kill everything around them, except for other Black Rage afflicted Marines or the chaplains who guide them into the enemy like a wrecking ball. The Blood Angels also have a unique relationship with the Warp via the angelic gods of Baal. It's kinda confusing, but a TLDR is that Baal has two angelic gods, one of darkness, one of light. Their noble side is the Angel of Light, their Red Thirst and Black Rage side is their Angel of Darkness. The Angels constantly battle for supremacy and have even chosen their champions. The Sanguinor is the Angel of Light and Mephiston is the Angel of Darkness, with Dante also been involved. As such, some Blood Angels, like Mephiston and the Sanguinor, have ascended to become demigods and a near Primarch level power. That's pretty neat if you ask me. The Iron Hands don't appear to have any special powers beyond an unusually high physiological affinity for cybernetic modification. Likewise, the World Eaters don't have any particular unique power. Maybe some of them could if it wasn't for the Butcher's Nails, which is known to suppress the warp within an individual, or if they are a Psyker, outright kill them. The Ultramarines also don't have anything in the unique power department as they are supposed to be the jack of all trades. The Death Guard are an interesting one. On one hand, modern Death Guard are Plague Marines, so any special powers they have isn't theirs, it's Nurgle's. So let's look at pre-Plague Marine Death Guard. They were unusually resilient. People often said the two hardest to kill Space Marines were the Iron Hands due to their cybernetics and the Death Guard due to their resilience. When a Death Guard Marine was knocked down, it was common practice to shoot them multiple times in the head, even if they appeared dead because they were so tough. The Death Guard could consume poisons and toxins that any other Legionnaire would choke and die on, so it's clear it wasn't just an attitude thing. Death Guard were literally built different. It's the tragic irony of that fact that drove them into Nurgle's embrace. The Legion best suited to resist Nurgle became his slaves. The Thousand Sons have a lot of superpowers, most of them shit. For example, they used to have these cute little tutelaries, like mini warp entities that followed them around and acted like little Pokemon. However, they turn out to be malicious small demons that fuck the Thousand Sons in the ass during the fall of Prospero for a laugh. The Thousand Sons also have the Flesh Change, where if they use their power too much, they turn into Chaos Spawn. But don't worry, Ahriman cured this affliction by turning most of his Legion into dusty automatons. As far as their psychic ability, it wasn't actually that unique compared to Stormseers or Rune Priests, they just had a shitload of Psykers. The Sons of Horus didn't have any particular superpower. All the powers they gained from joining Chaos wasn't their own. It was taken or borrowed from Chaos, so I'm not counting it. The Wordbearers were an interesting one. They had a unique affinity for Chaos. They, and they alone, were able to merge with demons, bargain with demons, and so on without it necessarily costing them their souls. Even the Galvorbak, who were Wordbearers merged with demons, maintained most of their free will, with even the most chaos-saturated Wordbearers like Corpheron or Erebus still not being covered in tentacles or horns. No other Legion has managed to exert this level of control over Chaos. The Salamanders are cuddly, but being cuddly isn't a superpower. What can be a superpower is extreme resistance to fire and heat. Salamanders can handle significantly higher temperatures than other Space Marines. Occasionally, some Salamanders are even seemingly immune to fire. As such, when Salamanders go to war, it's common for them to bathe the battlefield in fire and then charge in. As their enemies are reeling, they endure the flames and slaughter them. The Raven Guard actually have a dope as hell superpower, which is what inspired this video, their ability to Wraith Slip. A very small select group of Raven Guard can use the shadows to grant themselves a type of invisibility, like a weaker version of Korax's invisibility. It's a power that genetically resides in a small select group of Raven Guard who are then trained to become the Mordathan, the ultimate assassins. Nakonai Sharakin, the legendary traitor hunter of the Horus Heresy, was famous for his wraith slipping ability, whilst other Mordathan became the boogeyman of the traitors, assassinating many of their commanders. They can even use it mid-fight to do the old teleport behind the enemy trick. It's fucking dope. Finally, the Alpha Legion. Some people think that most of them looking like their Primarch is a special unique power, but that just isn't the case. Many legions inherit physical attributes of their Primarch. It's just that the Alpha Legion takes it a step further by shaving their heads and going under surgery. But that isn't a superpower. Otherwise, every woman in LA over the age of 30 would be considered a superhero. Even their ability to infiltrate and disguise themselves is based off training, technology and whatnot, not due to some kind of special unique power. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then join Dice Dioramas. The Angron vs Lion diorama is this Sunday, so at least click the link below to find out more. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.